Namaste to all. Uh, so this is gonna be more of a personal video for me, as before my own awakening, I like way back in 2018, and it kind of carried on until about the beginning of 2019, where I completely stopped doing one of my hobbies, as the awakening process kind of shot all the ideas of my writing. So it's not really like I did a lot of writing, but the main thing was just developing a story, and I enjoyed developing stories, and that began all the way back when I was still in like freshman in high school. So way back in 2007 almost, I think. So way back then, that's when like I got in, like started wanting to write stories. For all that time, like the one thing that I knew was constant back then was that I wanted them to all be connected. And so to connect, well, force the image I have up right now. This Every now and then I find an image which inspires me to do something or write a story about, and this is one of those cases. Now, the image does come from an anime I watched a few years back. I know the story behind like everything in this image, but I want to do a different story that's like captures the emotion that this image is portraying. Now I am gonna bring up my this is the continual story that I wrote up about a year ago, that just shows all the basically the complexity of the story that I wanted to write in the beginning, since I started way back in 20, 2007. And the awakening basically shot the idea because it was kind of a series that began with the like origin of the universe, and that it also kind of helped me in my awakening to like just with all the thinking involved. And so the main series was like what I began with, which then once the awakening started, we have the what once was series, and so on. I'm not gonna explain everything about it, but this was like what I was doing before the awakening, before I started doing the like YouTube videos on the different, like losing the ego. Like my whole writing hobby took a sideline as I came into trying to, well, better myself in just trying to become whom I'm supposed to be, instead of focusing on something this complex and unnecessary at this time, because the person I was at the time doing this, like they like I've changed so much that they would never be able to do this. And I am kind of rekindling that fire of wanting to write again and write stories. And this is just a pre-example of that drive to write the stories. Now, this is just what do you call it, map of what would be happening. I also I wouldn't put down a random book or thing down here without having something to back that up. Which each one of these has a summary to it for the most part. So I mean, I definitely have progress, but now I need to actually like write the stories. But like I said before, the whole map is based on how I originally thought the universe worked before the awakening. But with all the information that I now have from the awakening, I can do a more accurate tell of the story. And like, I don't know if I am gonna continue with this whole map over here. And I think the only thing I can actually salvage is the what once was series over here and the Sense of Wonder one, because they both well, I just don't know how I can tie in the other stuff, because it's such a complex series and whatnot. Um, the other thing I wanted to show is, so now there, like I get inspiration from different images to do different uh stories. One other image besides this one, which I'm gonna develop I like a idea and story around this one, the one in the background story. So this is another image that inspired me to create a different story, and that story is over here, the Crimson Zeppelin, which is supposed to take place between World War One and World War Two. I mean, the summary is right there if you want to read it, instead of hearing me babble. But it's basically gonna be the guy returns. Well, the ending, the grand finale, would be the guy returning from war after some dangerous mission in a red Zeppelin that he hijacked from probably the Germans, and he more or less crashes it into the World's Fair of 1920 or something around then. It's supposed to be a romance story, so, but there's just a lot of thinking going into all these stories, and this one I haven't as well developed, but it's just an idea of what to do from point A to point B from the previous two stories. But I mean, I can go into a lot of detail. Like, these first few pages of this file here is all just one book. And yeah, that's 8 pages of just one book. And that's like a summary. And like, that's how much I went into that. I mean, I have a lot of written for that particular story as well. But this is just a video of my hobbies, or one of my hobbies. Video gaming is one, obviously. Writing is another one. So I will make a new playlist for if I do any more of these writing videos. Like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. This will be very few. Like, I will have very few of these. The main focus of the channel is gonna be about the awakening, how you can awaken, how to be a better person, basically. Now, I do have a Discord username, which is Moe, M-O-E, at Moe hashtag 3103. There's a number that you need to type in if you want to add me on Discord. And I'm thinking about going into Twitter and those other media sites, but I mean, those aren't, like, I don't want to have a media, social media presence, is what I'm saying. But if I want to become a bit more well known and have my ideas out there, it kind of is a must. So that is it for this video. I have others planned and other stuff I will be doing. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.